Welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. So we are starting off strong with this chicken cordon bleu casserole. So earlier this day, I had cooked my chicken in the crock pot with just a little bit of chicken broth and some seasonings. And now that it is done, I'm adding 1 cup of milk with a can of cream of chicken. And I'm just going to mix this all together while we get the rest of our casserole ready. So the recipe does not say to do this, but I went ahead and cooked my stuffing on the stove. Just to kind of speed up the process, because the original recipe wants you to bake this for like 45 minutes to an hour, and I just did not have that much time this night, so I went ahead and just cooked it on the stove according to the box directions. Next, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some deli ham. So I'm not following like all of the exact measurements for this recipe. So I just got a package of ham from Aldi, and I'm just cutting that up into pieces, and then I'm going to throw that into my mixture with my chicken. After I get everything chopped up and mixed together, I'm going to put my chicken mixture in the bottom of a 9x13 casserole dish, and then I'm going to top it with some Swiss cheese slices, and then top it with the stuffing, and we're just going to bake this in the oven for 20 minutes or so. You just want everything to kind of warm back up, and you want your cheese to get melted. So a couple things about this recipe. I think that the liquid in the recipe was a little bit too much. So I don't know if that was because there was too much milk or if there was too much chicken broth. I really don't know, but next time I will probably cut back on some of the liquid, just because it was really soupy after it was all baked and the cheese was melted. Another thing to note is next time I make this, I will be using 2 boxes of stuffing, because I just didn't think it was enough. I was wanting more stuffing when we were eating, so definitely gonna use 2 boxes next time. But my kids absolutely loved this. My husband loved it. He had it for dinner, lunch, and then dinner again. So he was definitely asking for more of this recipe, and I'm definitely gonna make this again very, very soon. I'm a sweet baby. Here's what it looks like straight out of the oven. Again, this was so delicious and definitely a must try. Next, I'm making some marinated chicken. So I actually marinated this chicken in a vlog, but basically it was just Italian dressing and then mixed with a little bit of brown sugar, Kinder's rub seasoning. It was really, really good, but I'm just going to chop it up into some pieces. And this was before I got my air fryer, so I'm just going to cook the chicken in a skillet just until it is cooked all the way through.
You hold my hand, look me in the eyes. You and me, yeah, that's all I need, and I'll be alright. I'll be right here. I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. Be who you are and you'll be enough.
To go along with this, I made some mac and cheese. So I just boiled up some small elbow macaroni, and then I'm adding the little Velveeta cheese packets, and I'm going to season with some salt and pepper and just a little bit of milk. I will say these cheese packets from Velveeta are not as flavorful as the actual block. So I don't really know the science behind that, but I probably won't be buying the cheese packets again. I'll just buy the actual block of Velveeta and kind of make my own cheese sauce instead. But I mean, it's decent. My kids still eat it. My husband likes it, so it's not a big deal. Like I said, we serve this with mac and cheese and some broccoli, and then we also had some ranch on the side to dip it in. This next recipe is just smash burgers. So I'm getting started by making up a can of green beans. I'm going to season it with some beef bouillon and just let that boil on the stove while I'm getting my burgers all seasoned and ready. You're smiling, but there's something missing in your eyes. So for the smash burgers, normally you would make them like on the Blackstone or on the grill, but it's cold outside, it's dark outside, and honestly, I don't want to deal with the Blackstone when my husband's not home, so I just did it here on the stove, but I'm just seasoning with a bunch of random stuff. I just used up what I had, and so anyway, I'm just gonna season that how I like, and then I usually use my meat chopper to mix it up, and then I'm also using ketchup as a binder. That's a good way to get your burgers to stick together. And then I'm just going to mix it up with my little mix and chop here, and then I will get in there with my hands and make sure that everything is combined, make sure that the seasoning is all into the burger. And then I used a cookie scoop to make like little balls for the smash burgers, and they came out a little bit too small, so I probably won't do that next time, or I will use a different method for that. I don't know. But I also had a burger press that I used to flatten the burgers, and I really enjoyed doing that, so I think I might try to do that with like a regular size burgers. But the whole idea behind this was to make smash burgers that were small enough to use for like double patties, because my husband always has a double cheeseburger when we do smash burgers. But anyways, this wasn't an absolute fail. It just didn't have the crust on it that it normally would if you were to make these like on the Blackstone. So next time, maybe I will round up my husband and we can make smash burgers on the Blackstone. But I'm just smashing these down and cooking them in a skillet, and I'm just going to cook these through until they're done, obviously. And these did not take very long because they are super thin, and while they do not look the most appealing, they were really delicious, and I served them with some tater tots and some green beans. So this next dinner was kind of a fail as well, but I ended up pulling it all together. So I've got this reg bag of chicken that I got from Aldi, and I will tell you right now, this chicken is really, really good. My kids loved it, my husband loved it, and it's just really, it has a good flavor and a good texture. If you buy like pre-made chicken, sometimes it just doesn't taste very well, or the texture is a little off, but this was really good. So I'm just putting that in the oven according to the bagged directions. And then I'm going to make some Instant Pot rice. I've made that a million times, so if you want to know how I make that, just go back to any of my videos. Honestly, I make rice in the Instant Pot all the time. So the original plan for this dinner was to make orange chicken, but I used the recipe that I looked up, and it was orange marmalade with some barbecue sauce. And after I tried it, it just was not good. And I was like, I am not serving that to my family. So I ended up making some cashew sauce instead, and it's super simple. It's just chicken broth with some oyster sauce and soy sauce, but I did not have any soy sauce, so I added some sesame oil instead, and that kind of gave it that, Oriental / Chinese flavor. It definitely wasn't the best cashew sauce that I'd ever made, but it was fine. It worked in the end. And I just let this boil until it thickened with the cornstarch slurry, and then chopping up the chicken, and basically just going to throw this all in a bowl and make a little cashew chicken bowl without the cashews and without the soy sauce. Like I said, we kind of just pulled this together and it ended up working out, but it was definitely not what I had planned for dinner. But anyway, that is going to wrap up this week's What's for Dinner. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I will see you in my next one. Bye.